Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Ebony, and as you can see by the title and by what I'm wearing, I have a pattern review for you guys. So the pattern is Simplicity S3010, which is this one. There's 3 views. View A is the cardigan, view B is the tank, and view C is the skirt. I made view A, which is the cardigan, obviously. And I made mine in a size 18. Originally, I was a little nervous. I thought that I bought maybe the wrong size because this cardigan is clearly oversized. And so the pattern envelope that I bought is the 18 through 26. So I made mine in the 18, hoping that it wouldn't be too baggy, and it fits perfect. I made mine out of a sweater knit that I got from fabricmart.com. And it's super soft. I love it. I never want to take this off. And as for your notions, you do need 3 buttons, 3 3/4 inch buttons, and they just go down the front. And then you do need your lightweight fusible interfacing for your band. And it's mainly just for the sections where you're going to be putting the buttons, just to kind of stabilize that area for you. With all of Mimi G's patterns, there's always a sew along, and if you're new, the way you know, like for future reference, if there will be a sew along, on the front cover of the pattern, if there's a QR code, then most likely they will be posting a sew along. And Norris did the sew along for this cardigan, or he did it for all the views actually. So it's very easy to follow. I did not follow along or sew along with him. I just followed the instructions in the envelope. The instructions are very straightforward. I would say this is probably beginner friendly. Obviously, you may be nervous as far as like sewing buttonholes and installing buttons, but overall the instructions were very clear. This is one of those patterns where you do want to cut out your notches. You don't want to skip cutting out notches and transferring your dots and markings, just because the pattern itself is oversized. And so it's kind of, or at least for me, like when I was attaching the front to the back at the shoulders, the way that the cardigan is like curved, I don't know if it shows on the line drawing, but it kind of curves in a little bit. So it kind of looked like I was doing it upside down. So I was thankful that I had cut out my notches just so I can be sure that I was attaching the right pieces together. But overall, the instructions were pretty easy to follow, very straightforward. I didn't get confused on anything. It was a relatively quick sew. I got it done within maybe 5 hours or so. I cut it up between a Friday and a Saturday project just because I just like to take my time whenever I'm sewing. But this is a very quick and easy pattern. I definitely will be making this again just because I like the fit of it. I like the instructions, and yeah, I did not do any modifications. So the length of the sleeve is the true length. They're pretty long, and they do have a cuff at the end. So if you have short arms, just be prepared to, you may want to shorten them. And then if you look at the cover, they're pretty long on Mimi G as well. So that's just something to keep in mind, but I like the oversized length for the sleeve, so I didn't modify that. And then it does have a band at the bottom, and it does go pretty long. It's kind of long on Mimi, but I like the oversized look. So again, I didn't make any modifications to like the fit or anything like that. As far as like the sewing process, when it comes to this type of fabric, so like I said, this is a sweater knit that I got from fabricmart.com. This is kind of, I don't know if you can see, this is what it looks like. It's an animal print, and I think it has a little bit of lycra in it, and so it's very like stretchy, and it is a little like slippery. So I just kind of took my time with pinning and clipping things together, because there were certain times where my seams were having trouble lining up perfectly just due to the fabric being slippery. But overall, the fabric is very soft. I think that is perfect for a cardigan. So if Fabric Mart still has this on their website, I'll try and link it for you guys. But other than that, I love the fabric that I chose to use for this project. And then for my choice of buttons, I have this kit that I got from Amazon almost like a year ago. It's just a random assortment of different size buttons. and I chose to just choose the black ones that were in here. I wanted something that wasn't too busy or too decorative, just because it's a lot going on with the print. And so I just decided to do black buttons, and I like the way that that turned out. And if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that I've mentioned that I'm trying to trust myself, be confident, and sew the buttonholes and try and make all of the things. So this was my first time doing buttonholes on knit fabric, and so I was a little nervous about that, but the part of the band where you install the buttons, there are instructions for adding that fusible interfacing to try and like stabilize that section. But what I ultimately ended up doing was just taking a piece of scrap fabric that I had left over from this and interfacing that, and I just practiced doing the buttonholes. And I'm really glad that I did, because on my practice the needle kept getting caught because the fabric was like slippery, and so I ended up having to like adjust the length of the buttonhole and like the width. I had to kind of like toggle with my settings. So I highly recommend you doing that if, like, you know, you're nervous about sewing the buttonholes in this. Ultimately, they ended up coming out pretty decent. They were a little hard, like once I finally decided to give it a try on like my actual fabric, but I just took my time and just, you know, went slow, turned my settings down to slow so that I didn't actually accidentally speed up and mess up or anything like that. I just kind of took my time with it. And especially whenever I had to like seam rip them open, I just took my time with that as well. So ultimately, I like how they turned out, so I'm happy on that front. But yeah, you guys, I'm very happy with the outcome. I will definitely make this cardigan again. I actually want to make everything else in the pattern as well, like the tank and the skirt. I think it's really cute, and it looks pretty easy. The pattern is rated as average, and I just think that that's because of the button and buttonholes, but everything else on this pattern looks relatively easy to make, especially the skirt. But yeah, if you have made it this far in the video, I appreciate you for watching. Make sure that you subscribe if you have not already, like this video, and leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think. I'll see you guys in my next upload.